We're looking today at Matthew 26, reading verses 6 to 13. Now when Jesus was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, a woman came up to him with an alabaster flask of very expensive ointment, and she poured it on his head as he reclined at table. And when the disciples saw it, they were indignant, saying, "Why this waste? For this could have been sold for a large sum and given to the poor." But Jesus, aware of this, said to them, "Why do you trouble the woman? For she has done a beautiful thing to me. For you will always have the poor with you, but you will not always have me. In pouring this ointment on my body, she has done it to prepare me for burial. Truly I say to you, wherever this gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." There's a couple of things that stood out to me from that passage. This is right before Jesus makes his final trip into Jerusalem for his arrest and crucifixion. He was staying at Bethany, which is a place that he'd visited many times during his ministry, a place where he had good, close friends. And on one of his final nights, he chose to stay at the house of a leper. We don't know much about Simon. We don't know if he's one of the lepers that Jesus had healed previously in his ministry. But we know that Bethany was where Jesus had good, close friends like Lazarus, Mary and Martha. But yet he chooses to stay at a leper's house. And lepers obviously were the outcasts of society, the ones that people avoided. And yet on one of his final days on earth, Jesus stays at a leper's house. Next, we notice the woman who pours this expensive ointment on Jesus' head. And to the disciples, it looked like a real waste. There was such expense being just poured out with no real consideration to the cost. But what Jesus reminds us is that that's what worship really should be about. It should be about bringing our best to him, pouring it out. And it looks foolish to the world. It doesn't make sense. But if we've truly grasped how important Jesus is, we won't hold anything back from him. That woman had grasped it. She understood that Jesus was worth everything, and so she freely gave. Finally, we see Jesus tell the disciples that what she had done would be remembered for all time. And 2,000 years or so on, it's been proven to be true. The account of what happened has been kept in the Bible for the past 2,000 years, and people still hear about what this woman did. We don't know much about many of the people that lived at the time of Jesus, but we know about this woman. We know about her heart of worship. We know how extravagantly she poured out everything for Jesus. She left a legacy, and there's a challenge there for us. Will we leave a legacy? Would our life be remembered? Have we done anything of such significance that people would talk about us for all time? See, what we see with this woman is that to leave a legacy, you don't have to do some great impressive deed. All she did was pour out ointment on Jesus' head. It's not like she built a fancy statue or solved some great math puzzle. She simply worshipped, and that was enough to leave a legacy. But she worshipped with her all. So if we want to leave a legacy, we have to give our all to Jesus. That's how we'll leave a legacy that's worth leaving. So that's the application today, is to think of the legacy you want to leave with your life. To think of how you can leave a legacy that points others to Jesus and that testifies to how important he is in your life, by how prepared you are to look like a fool and to give the greatest treasure you have to him. Let's pray.